Proportional pressure reduction valve with the two coils for 24 volts, and this is now connected through a Deutsch connector that we can see in line. The Deutsch connector then powers comes back through the proportional driver board, inline driver board, single axis. This is then powered through the slider module, which is this one, the slider module, and the slider module has got a parallel toggle connection there, 3-position toggle, and the power supply for that comes from the main battery, basically lab source. With that, we have now programmed this single axis driver board, but we'll go through the steps one by one so we are very clear about what is being done here. I'm going to now show the setting of the single axis driver board as connected. And when we start up, we got a P3 coming up here. That is based on the toggle position switch, which is on P3, and that can be reduced. We can make it P1 and P2 depending on the position of the toggle switch, which is P2, P1, P3. So that is wired to the central wire condition there, which selects the profiles.
P1 is default.
Now we are starting with P1. Okay, so go with that. So we start the single 1H. We have set it up to maximum. 1H means the first coil. We have set it up to 800 milli, 80% of the duty cycle, and one low, which is set to 20% duty cycle. 2H set to 80%, and 2L set to 20%. With that, ramp is now set to 0.2 seconds, and one ramp, two ramp, both of them have been set to that, and this configuration is complete. Then profile has been set. Frequency is now set to 100 Hertz, and
this is the input,
which is
input selection.
It's a single input basically.
Yeah.
We have to select number 2 when we have 2 inputs, but here we have only 1 input. The input selection of 1 means that we have a single single joystick, which is going all the way from 0.5 to 4.5, so the entire range is covered by the single input. So now you need to switch it on and off once, and so the controller has stored the values.
And we can move.
Now we can
set the.
So we try to operate the joystick and see how much current it's consuming. In P1, you set it up to 200. So basically, you can, when you start the current, so it's starting and going up to about 600 milliamps here. And when we go to the other side also, it's basically going to start about roughly around 200-250 milliamps, going around all the way to 600 milliamps. 600 milliamps for a 24 volt coil is roughly the maximum that you should be getting out under proportional control. So now that's how it has been set up for P1. Now let us look at P2. P2 will be selected by changing the switch, which we has done so, and P2 will repeat the same steps. 1H 60, 65, that's enough, 65, and 1L 25, that's okay. 2H 65 and 2L 25, and ramp 0.2, yeah, one ramp, 2 ramp, yeah, calibration over. Now you want to set that plus sign so that it can calibrate to that coil. Yeah, if you press that, it basically calibrates against the coil, so it knows what maximum current to send through that. Once you have done that, if we go into the frequency is set to 100 Hertz, and yeah. So now let us switch it on and off once and start to operate the slider module, and we'll see the current going through that. it's going through to about 53. We set it up to 65. It will go up to 51, 52, mainly because that's limited by the amount of the resistance there in the coil. So if you look at the current being consumed in the multimeter, that's going to a maximum of about 500 milliamps. So for a P2 setting, it's going from roughly 200 to 500 milliamps. That's the current range control we have.
There. Now we'll set.
Try the P3 now. So we got to P3 condition. In P3 condition, we're going to set the
80.
80 is a bit. Anyway, let us keep it at 80. That's fine. 30.
You want me to calibrate the coil?
Yeah. So once its calibration of the coil is complete, then it will actually set everything in relation to the actual coil. So your maximum and minimum may be readjusted according to that. So if you go back to that, and yeah, all our set values are there. Then we need to store it by just doing a power cycling once. Switch it on and off. It's already stored. Now if you try to operate it, it's operating from 30 to 80. But even though you ask for 80, it will come down to a certain value that it will see as the maximum current it can push through that. So it's starting from what, around 65. So in reality, that's how much. Keep it at maximum. Let us see how much current is going through that. That's about roughly 600 milliamps, 650 milliamps going through that. And the other side also is the same thing. So basically, we tuned it to 3 different settings, and which can be varied according to how you want it, and we take it from there. So that's a quick setup for this system. Thank you.